Welcome. I'm Lenore Kulek, and this is Look Great, Feel Great, the Fitness, Health, and Beauty Show. I'm glad you could join me. Getting a good workout and you're learning a useful skill, what could be better than that? And what more important useful skill than self-defense? So today I would like to introduce my expert in self-defense, Master Barry Brill. Welcome, Barry. Barry is a 5th degree master in karate and has been teaching for over 20 years. For almost 20 years, and he's the owner and chief instructor at Brill's Karate in Spotswood. Barry, first of all, what are the ages that karate can be used for? What ages?
Well, we start at 3.5, and then we have 3 different levels for kids, for different age groups. So we start with our little dragons, and we have our peewees and our juniors. So this way, they're always with their own developmental levels. Okay. And then we have our adult classes. So like the adults never have to worry about being with like 10-year-olds.
Okay, right.
Which is a big concern a lot of times.
And I guess the adults you do by the level,
yep.
Beginning.
Yeah, we have beginner adults and we have advanced adults.
Adults, yes. And what I love about karate is that it's a mind, body, spirit thing. And what I think a lot of people, especially for children, we think of confidence, yes. Building confidence. How do you build confidence in a child? I mean, the physical part I can see, that to me is kind of easy, but how do you build confidence?
That's a great question. When they learn the moves and they start to progress at it and they start to feel really good about themselves, they learn like in stepping stones, so they get better and better. And as they feel better about themselves, they feel like they can meet new challenges, with confidence. Because once they feel better about themselves,
I would think it carries over,
yes.
Maybe to the school.
Yes,
when you feel better yourself, and at home too, I would imagine.
The things they learn, are a lot of times physical, but it goes mental. So this way, when they go to school, they feel better about themselves. So a lot of times when they feel like they can't do well in school, their grades start to plummet. It's like a catch-22, right. They start going down.
And it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, so when they start feeling better about themselves, they start to apply themselves even more so.
In school.
It just carries over to the confidence and builds up the self-esteem.
Now, I'm just wondering, with the breaking boards, and I understand that in the winter, I know that your school also breaks ice.
Yes.
Get revenge on that winter,
yes.
Father Winter. So is that also part of the confidence, the breaking boards?
Yes. I mean, the ice you're talking about is more of an advanced break. That's more for that's more for the advanced adults. But that's like it shows the different levels that you can go through. Where even if you start as a kid with the easy level, because the kids' boards are like this big. They're tiny and they're thin. So they're easy to break. But that's a good starting place for them. So then they can break bigger and bigger and bigger. Because when you can break the wood, is very empowering. It makes you feel very strong.
Yes, you want to feel empowered, and that gives you confidence.
And what happens is with the wood breaking too, it's like you break it, and it's like you really have to do a lot of focus.
So it's like a mental focus.
Yeah, it's like a focus, like putting your mind and body at one point fixed in time, and being able to break the wood. It's a great lesson, because once you learn how to do that, you can do that in everything else in your life.
You have that focus, that mental focus is important. I also know that you have your own philosophy of doing it. Something about having fun. You told me something about how you're maybe a little different from other people.
Yes, absolutely. It has to be fun at all levels.
I agree, and I think in fitness too. Yeah, it should be fun.
For like the little ones right to the adults. Just talking about the little ones for a second, if the class is not fun, they're not going to want to go. And there's so many benefits to the martial arts. Build their confidence, their self-esteem, their focus.
And the physical, of course, the physical. Let's
absolutely.
That.
Yeah. So this way they continue. They always want to continue, so they don't last for like a month. So if you really want to get the long-term benefits of martial arts, you got to stay with it.
Got to stay with it.
And if it's not fun, they're not going to stay.
You're right. And I totally agree with that philosophy.
Yeah.
Now, I also know that you're going to be doing some free clinics for the community, which I think is wonderful. And free clinics that people are really interested in. I know, for example, one of them is the mixed martial arts, which I've been hearing a lot about. Can you tell me a little bit more about the mixed martial arts?
Sure. The mixed martial arts is very popular now. The mixed martial arts generally refers to like different kind of styles put together. So it tends to make a more well-rounded student. So what happens is you learn like a lot of the stand-up fighting and like in ground fighting and stuff like that, which is where most attacks go anyway, to the ground. They start standing up, and a lot of times people get thrown to the ground, especially women and different things like that. So they actually learn how to fight from every level.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so we offer that, usually for the young adults, we offer a free class for them to take because, it tends to keep them out of trouble. It has them more balanced for mind and body.
Right, and also teach them respect and like not to be aggressive, but just to protect yourself.
Right.
More to defend yourself.
Right.
Which gets me into also bullying, which is another thing that really has been in the news a lot lately.
Yes.
Bullying is an enormous problem. It always has been.
Yes.
And you have ways to help the kids to be well, maybe to prevent being a victim and how to handle it if you are.
Yeah. Yeah, the bully prevention class we run is a free class that it's very popular because bullying always was, but somehow it's just such a bigger problem
Even worse
now.
today.
It's
You have
even worse.
cyberbullying too.
Yeah, there's so many different ways to do it.
Right.
So that's a free clinic we run for the community.
Which is wonderful.
Yeah, so we like to run the clinics because the community has done so much for us. So we like to give back to them.
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, so they're
and
free-
it gives
they're
people
free
a
clinics.
taste of it too.
Yeah.
Give it a taste of what it's about.
Yeah.
And which is, I'm getting into the next one, the women's self-defense.
Yes.
Which I was hoping you'd give a little bit of a preview of some of the things you would be doing in the women's self-defense.
Yeah,
But I've always felt that prevention is very important too. How can women prevent being a victim?
It's a great question,
Or
actually.
men, for that matter, anybody being a victim.
For pretty much anyone. There's different things you can do is like, say if you park your car in a parking lot and say if it's still light out but perceivably could be dark when you come out, you might want to park underneath one of the lights so this way your car will be lit up. Because a lot of times people don't think about it when they park their car.
Right, I do
Yeah.
now. Yes, I do think about
And
that.
it's important. And actually when you are walking to your car, when you're like 20, 30 feet away, start looking under your car because one of the more common ways they do is they wait under your car.
Wow, that's scary.
Very scary.
That's
Actually,
scary.
it's very scary. So one of the things you could do is to get into an easy habit is just looking underneath the car. And then when you get to the car, what you want to do is look behind in the back seat. Just kind of look around your surroundings.
Like to be aware.
Be
to
very aware is the biggest thing. Because even for kids and adults, all the same. If you look like you're in your own little world looking down, you tend to look like more like a victim. So if you're like looking around and you're seeing what's around,
you're less likely to
Yeah.
even have the problem to begin with.
yeah, because when people are like looking at who to victimize, they'll be like, no, yes. They'll be the one who
You don't want to be the yes.
You don't be the yes. Yeah. Not that you want any, but you can only save yourself.
Now, also, I wonder if there are any things you can use to protect yourself. Like I once read about like your car keys,
Yes.
using like as a weapon if you have to.
Yes.
You can use the keys.
could
How would you use the keys?
That's actually a great question. What you want to do is there's different ways you can do it, but probably the easiest way is to put your keys in your hand so where the key actually sticks out. So you could actually have it as almost like a little knife, and then you could use that to like try to punch the person.
So where would you punch? Like where would you aim for?
It's a great question. It's a complicated question.
Oh, okay.
It actually is. Because what happens is if you say you punch them in the throat with that, you will kill them. So it becomes a little more issues that you.
That's interesting. I didn't
Yeah.
realize that. I guess it's the carotid artery or something.
Yeah, so it's one of the things that it's a great question that you might want to think about beforehand.
Yeah, because once you're in the situation, you don't have time to think. You have to
Yeah.
react. But I know sometimes if I'm walking and I'm not totally comfortable and I have to walk there, so that I have the key. I'll tell you another thing. I also
you could always
thought
just hold it. No one notices. You could always hold it. Especially if you have like a long key, like some
Now,
kind of
and a
like
lot of
thing.
the keys
You
are
could also
long.
use that as like a whipping thing across
like
the face.
across their face,
Yeah.
and then run away kind of thing,
Yeah.
and scream.
Yeah.
I also thought the cars have like alarms on
Yep.
them to set off the alarm on the car.
Yes.
Or something.
It's a great idea.
So yeah.
Anything that causes attention, is always a great thing. Anything that causes attention, you want people there. One of the things we teach actually is that not to yell help.
Oh, that's
It's
interesting.
very weird
You would
because-
think that would be your first reaction would be yell help.
Because a lot of people don't want to help; they get scared. I think you see them closing the door and stuff like that. When they hear help.
Well, because you figure they're afraid they're for themselves, I guess.
Yeah. So you think like, what do you yell? Because you want to yell something. Yell fire.
Yell fire.
Yelling fire is it's psychologically.
everyone looking out the window.
Everybody like wants to see a cool fire. It's really weird. It's really weird, but that's what they do. So everyone starts. So you have crowds. And then the fire truck comes and it just gets people there.
Well, that's great. So that's what you want.
Yes. Especially if they're trying to get you to a secondary location, which you never want to do.
Right.
You just need attention going there.
So yell fire, not help.
Yeah.
You never know when this could save your life.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's get more physical. We try to prevent it and we try to maybe stave
Mm-hmm.
them off a little bit, but let's see some other things that could happen to
Okay.
a woman and what should you do, okay? But I'm going to be the attacker.
Okay. So what I like to do is like explain a little bit about some strikes and stuff.
Okay.
Because we have some moves that we can do, but I also want to teach how to do some hitting. The stuff I'm going to do is very easy to do. Now the first one, we're going to go over this quickly though. This is what like the women's self-defense class is for. It goes in a little more depth, but just for quick, you could do what's called the hammer strike, which you actually can use your fist. you know, everyone's always used to this, like you bang onto the doors, you know, let me in, or depends on where you're at, let me out, you know. So
Right.
you're always banging on the door, so that's like a nice, easy strike that everyone feels comfortable with right away.
Again, where are you aiming? The nose, the face? What are you aiming for?
Usually, like, if a person goes to grab you, which we'll talk about in a second,
Okay.
you can go right for the nose. That's a great spot.
Okay.
Or even like the side of the neck. There's a lot of things that you can break in here. You could break the clavicle or the collarbone. You know, you can go for the neck is like a knockout shot. A lot of different things. So like anywhere like to the face and like to the side.
And should you use two hands just
Yep,
like that?
flail at
Just
them,
flail at them.
Because what happens a lot of times, you always see like attacks where the person's like hitting the person's chest. It does nothing. You know,
Okay.
so you want to go to good spots. Because a lot of times, if you're smaller than your attacker, which is almost
Well,
always.
the woman, the attacker is going to pick someone smaller.
Yep, always. And even guy to guy, a lot of times, the guy who's picking on is the bigger guy.
Right.
We always pick on a little guy.
That makes sense, right.
So the only way to even up your odds is to strike in proper spots and use good technique. You know, so this way it could overcome
Okay, so
size.
the side, and just keep going,
Yep.
right
So you do a
at the
hammer.
face.
Yep, right on the nose, and even hit the nose twice. You know, as many times as you can hit the same spot, because the first one could perceivably break it, and there's nothing worse than getting hit in the same spot twice. It just kills.
That would take the fight out of
Yeah,
them.
it takes the fight out.
I think it would, yes.
It takes the fight out of them. Another one would be.
Let me just ask you, do you need a lot of strength to be effective? Because some people may, let's say an older person or it's a frail person,
Great
although we
question.
want to be strong, but if for the one person who may not be.
That's a great question too, because if you hit the right spot, no. You know, like even if you went to me right now and just kind of bopped me on the nose,
I would think that would hurt.
Even if you think about like a little tiny bop does a good amount.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, so even a person with not much strength, if they get it right on the nose. Now,
Just keep going.
Yeah, I mean, if you miss, like if you hit him in the forehead, it probably won't do much. You know, because that's not a vulnerable spot.
So nose and neck area.
Yeah, like right to the side, like
to the
angle
neck.
it. So you could just kind of go straight down to the nose and the
What
side.
about the Adam's apple? Well, that's,
That would, if you hit somebody to the Adam's apple, it would kill them.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we're not going to make decisions for them what they should do, you know.
I guess whatever
Yeah,
you could
as a self-defense expert, my job is only to tell you different spots you can hit and what it'll do. You know, so the moral issue is up to the student.
person.
Like I would tell you what would kill the person, what would stun them, what would, you know,
Oh, okay.
all the different levels. But it's up to you. My only thing I ask is that you know what you want to do beforehand.
That's it, you have to decide, because in the moment,
Yeah.
you just have to react.
Yeah,
You
'cause-
don't really have time to think that much.
Yeah, you don't. And if you don't know what you do, because I'm not going to say if you should kill someone, not kill someone, you know, it's up to them. But I'll tell them what this will do that. So, but I ask a person to decide beforehand. Would you kill somebody if your children are in danger? You know, I don't care the answer.
Right, but you have to make the
But you have to
decision.
know, because
Yeah.
what will happen is like, all of a sudden you'll do this, you know, go to strike somebody in the throat, and then you'll stop because you don't want to kill them, and all of a sudden they take advantage of your hesitation.
Right.
And that's what, because they always talk about people freezing. They don't usually freeze so much, they hesitate. And that's just enough to lose it.
To lose that edge. Okay, so that was the one. The
Yeah, so
hammer
that's the
strike.
hammer strike, and there's also what's called a palm heel, which I'm not going to get into depth now, but you just basically hit right here, so you kind of just strike going
Again,
this
to
way.
the face and keep
Yeah,
going.
go to the face, go right to the nose, yeah, and just.
Well, I like the hammer the best.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, because it's
Yeah,
very comfortable.
It's comfortable.
It's right
Yes.
from the first
but
minute.
Even this, but you know, this will work too. Okay.
Yep, so that's
Very
good.
well.
Now, there's a couple of things you use your legs too, because especially for women, it's the biggest, strongest, longest weapon you have, and you really should feel pretty comfortable with it. You know. So the first one we call a front ball kick, where you actually kick with the bottom of your foot, you know, the ball of your foot, and you just come and you can kick. You can kick like to the shins, which causes a tremendous amount of pain. A lot of different areas you can go.
But would you have to be face to face with that one?
Probably.
Okay, because how
It
could
works a little better, but which
Okay.
leads me to the next one, which I'm glad you said that,
Okay.
is our side kick. Now the side kick is just like you lift up your knee like you're doing a knee strike, and then you just put your leg off to the side. If you do it really properly, it's a little technical, but if you just do an easy quick shot, you just throw it off to the side. The advantage to that is if the person's to the side, or even if you do it to the front, like say if I was doing it towards you, where if I'm going to go for the knee, which is very easy to break a knee, by the way. You know, it only takes 3 pounds of pressure to break a straight knee. So that's that's equivalent of like a nice light shot. It doesn't take much. So if I was going to grab you and you went on my knee, the foot, the wideness of it, like because it's sideways.
Okay.
So if you see if it's sideways like this, it tends to cover the whole knee, where it's easy to hit.
Okay. Now, are you hitting with the side of your foot, or you said the ball of your foot before?
So yeah, the first one is the front ball kick.
The ball. And what are you contacting them with? The side of your foot?
Yeah, it's a great question. Like right to the side.
To the side and underneath?
Yes.
Okay, because you don't
Yeah.
want to hurt your foot.
Yeah, it kind of looks like, if it helps to visualize, it's almost like if you take like a stick that you find in the backyard, put it against the house, and just lift your foot up and just crack the stick in half. It's probably like the
Okay.
best visual. It's exactly what it would be like, right from there. And then we also have the famous knee strike. We just come up and you can strike.
Okay.
That's generally to the groin if a person goes to
Okay.
itchy and stuff. So that's the basics. Some of your weapons, there's a lot more, but that's
Right,
enough
we just want a few basics here,
Yeah.
just to give someone like a preview. Okay, then now, what else would a woman, let's say if a guy grabs you.
Okay, now let's say if somebody grabs you. Actually, I want to say something before we even do it. Is that if somebody, what I recommend is sometimes for some women to put on like a winter jacket, which is tough if it's summertime, and get someone to kind of like shake them a little bit, because the shaking part is probably the scariest thing. So it's almost like you need to get the sensation of it, to get used to it, so you can kind of get used to it. All right, so now let's show what we're talking about.
Okay,
So somebody grabs from here. Now what happens is they have their hands on you, which seems scary, but they can't hit you with these.
Well, that's true, they could shake you.
Yeah,
right?
they could shake you around, but they can't really hurt you with it, unless they take their hands off by like throwing you down or putting your hand back. But that leaves my hands open.
Okay.
So now you go back to what we were talking about before. So you can let go for a second. So now from here, I could do my palm heel strikes to your face, because there's nothing stopping you. Your hands are being used, so I can do my strikes. You could do in conjunction with that. You could do like a knee strike to the groin, and especially if they're like grabbing you like
Well,
really
they're probably
tight.
angry.
Yeah,
They're
they're
angry.
almost like that lifting you
Yeah,
up kind of thing.
right.
So you could just start hammering and palming to their head, and the same thing, like and do knee strikes and do it all at once, and just do a whole barrage of strikes and just totally stop. That is probably a very scary way, it's a position to be in, but it's actually self-defense wise, it's very easy to stop.
Okay, that's interesting.
I mean, with training.
With training, right.
Because, like they said, they're tying their own weapons up. They can't now hurt you. So you could just go to town on them, and have them let go.
Oh, interesting. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Tying up their hands. Okay, let's see.
Now, the next one, is the front choke.
I think if someone they want to come and
so
choke
like-
you. Right.
If someone's choking like that, now that's actually way more challenging, because you can't just start hitting the person, because what happens is with the thumbs, it's very easy to crush your windpipe. Very scary position to be in. So you don't really want to start hitting them, because you can even do like that front ball kick to the shin, as we said before.
Yeah.
But nothing like that now, because if they get hurt, they can crush your windpipe.
Oh, okay.
So actually, the goals are much different. Where the other one is not to take the hands off of you, because they're using them. So now they can't use to defend themselves, or for our defense. But you know what I mean. But this time, we want to get the hands off of you as quick as possible.
Right.
So what you want to do is here, grab.
Okay, so this one?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
the
this
choke.
one, right, okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my hand, this we call it T. I'm going to put my hand over your head.
Oh, and
And
I
what
like
that
it.
does,
My hands come right
and you can do it both
over.
sides. I'll show you. So you can do it this
Okay,
way.
so
So my hands
Oh, you're right.
come right over and gets the hands off of you instantly and gets you right out of
What a great move.
yeah, right out of the immediate danger. Which actually works too for a back choke. If somebody's behind you and starts choking, you could do the same thing where you can just turn and it gets the
Well,
hands.
let's see if I came from behind, like this then.
Yeah, so all I have to do is just turn.
Just turn and,
And then you can see I can do my palm strike. So like from here, just take a little step back.
Okay.
So from here, I can take the hands off
And
then
then go right
continue with the
into,
palm strike, a nice powerful strike.
What a great idea. Okay, now which hand do you use? Now, if you're stronger righty, should you?
It's a good question, but it's an easy question, because it's a neutral attack. So you're grabbing me with your two hands. I could use either one. So that might be environmental.
I'm just thinking that although you want to get that hand off. Do you need a lot of strength to do that?
No, it works so easy.
Okay.
Yeah,
You don't
we've
need a lot
done
of
this all the
strength.
time with big guys against a little person. You just can't hold on. So
I could feel that when you,
yeah,
when you did that.
yeah. So it gets the hands off instantly, and like I said, it's a very scary attack. And if you don't know how to get it off,
You're going to, I think, lose
You're-
consciousness of
yeah,
it. You're going to get weaker.
yeah, you're in a lot of
You got
trouble.
to get off fast.
Now, what you can do is you can do the technique and come through with something like a spinning elbow strike, something like that, and it gets the person off. Because your goal is to run, is to get out of there.
Right, to just get him loose. And
now,
go.
to take the hands off of you and just start to run is probably not an effective
enough,
idea.
not
because
enough.
they're going to come right back at you in 1 second.
Right, you got to weaken
So
them
if you
a little.
had that where you got the hands off of you and came through with like an elbow strike,
I love
and
it.
then you can even follow through with a palm heel.
I love it.
So then you can strike the person, and then you can
Run,
then
and
you
just
can
run.
get out of
Yeah.
there. Yeah, so you can grab. So all right, now probably the the last one I'd like to cover is a grab, because it's the most common, where somebody kind of just takes and grabs your arm.
Right.
Now, what I'm going to show you is counterintuitive of what most people do, because every time somebody grabs you, they generally
I want to like pull
yeah,
back.
exactly.
I want to pull back.
Exactly. That's the wrong thing to do. That's what most people do, which is tricky. I know.
Okay, so that's good to know.
So they want to pull back. Actually, the truth is, what happens is, here, grab my wrist. I'm not going to do any of the self-defense, but I just want to explain something. Okay. All right. So pull me really hard.
Okay.
I want to go with you instead of because now what happens is when you go to say you grab from here.
I expect you to pull back.
Yeah. So now I don't, and all of a sudden I use all your energy against you.
Against me.
So what happens
so go
is
with it.
Go with it. Go with it.
Oh.
So you can do, depending on the hand they grab, you can like fly through with a knee strike. You know. So what happens is now you have all the power of the big person being used against them.
I love it.
Yeah, you're just the conduit where you just come through and then strike. So they pull you really hard. You know, like say if there's 1,000 scenarios, but like say if you're in the car and you know this person's going to be able to rip you out. They have your hand. There's no doubt they can pull you out of the car because they're way bigger and stronger. And then you could just decide to go with them and just come through and then do that hammer strike right to their face or a palm.
Now you're saying when you're in the car?
Even if you're in the car.
Well, how do you do that if you're in the car?
Let's say if you're like, I mean, it's 1,000 scenarios you can
Right,
pick.
right.
But like say if you're in the car and they're in your door, you know.
Okay. Okay. Your door's open,
Yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, and your car's not on. You can't drive away, and they have
Okay.
your arm and they're ready to rip you out, and you're just not be able. You can't fight them. They're just too big.
Okay.
You know?
So you go with.
So now when they pull you out, let them pull you out. You know, and then
Right.
as soon as you do, you smash them with everything you have.
Okay, that hammer strike, that's my favorite one.
Yeah, because if they're big and strong, you're going to use all their energy against them, and they won't even know what happened.
That is fabulous. Oh, I love this. This was fun.
Yes.
Well, you're right, teach by fun.
Yes.
Okay, so here are a few ideas that women can use or men, anybody could use to
Yes.
protect yourself. Don't be a victim, be empowered.
Yes.
Well, Barry, let me thank you so much. I think this is very enlightening, and maybe it'll even save a life. You never know.
I hope so.
You never know.
Yeah.
So thank you. And if people want more information, I just want to let you know that at the end of the show, we'll have contact information for Barry, the website, phone number, and maybe come and go see one of his clinics. Could save your life. Okay. Well, Barry, thank you so much, and I'll hope to see one of your clinics one
You're
of these
welcome.
days.
This was a pleasure.
Okay. Let's continue with some movements. You're also using mind body. And here we go. We'll take our breaths, palms up, breathe in through the nose, then turn over, breathe out, and bend the knees. Let the whole body go with the breath. In through the nose and release. That's it. You're at one with your breath, breathing in and breathing out. Think in through the nose and out through the mouth. Feet together. Okay, let's step forward. This time we're breathing in and out through the nose. We're going to scoop up the sea and look at the sky and flow with it. And open. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. Scoop up, look up, open up. And one more. Breathe, release, and then a graceful conclusion. And let's go to the other side and scoop it up. Breathe and release. And breathe and release. We're flowing, lifting, stretching. Mind and body are benefiting from this. And one more time, breathe, release, close with a graceful conclusion. And let's go to a horse stance, feet apart, and let's open the arms up, palms up, breathe, and as you release, we're going to shift the weight to the right, and I'm going to turn the palm over, so I'm palm over palm, and then open, breathing in, and breathe out. Think of flowing with it. We're flowing. It's effortless, but working the whole body, soothing the mind, stretching the body. Everything is working, improving our balance, improving circulation. Stretch and open. And one more time on this side. Stretch over, open up, graceful conclusion. And now open up to horse stance again. Arms out. Let's take the right side over to the left. Turn your palm over and then open it out. Good. Good posture, head and chest lifted, abs are in and tight. Take it over and out. And this is called soothing, and it does feel soothing. And over and out. And one more time. Over and out. Close with a graceful conclusion, feet together, circle in, release. Next, we're ready to part the clouds. So come forward on the right, palms facing, breathe in. Turn your palms away, breathe out, shift the weight back, And again, flow in and open. And see how good this feels. And also imagine being by the clouds, the blue sky and the white clouds. Let that soothe you. Let the mind soothe the body as the body soothes the mind. And we'll open and a graceful conclusion. And we're ready for the left side, through the middle and open. Beautiful. Through the middle, flowing. Being in harmony, the breath and the body working together. Breathing in, breathing out. One more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Graceful conclusion. Into the horse stance, feet apart, toes out. Again, standing tall. Let's do the passing cloud. We have this cloud theme. We'll lift up, then out to the side. Shift your weight, lifting the heel of the non-weight bearing foot, and up and out to the side. The breathing is in and then out. As we come up, we breathe in and then out. And we're breathing in and out through the nose on these exercises. So as we flow through, in and out through the nose, the whole body is working. It's a very gentle type of exercise. Feeling relaxed as I go. Everything benefits. And up and out and lift and open. One more on either side. And the last one, up and out. And let's do a graceful conclusion. Okay, let's do a little qigong. This one you're going to love. I call it the bear exercises. First, let's lumber like a bear. Lumbering like a bear. Shift your weight side to side. The bear goes fishing. Catch the fish. Good. Beautiful. And now the bear rises up. Come up on the toes and back on the heels. And lift and back. Breathe in, breathe out. Lift and down. And one more time. Breathe in and breathe out. Feet shoulder width apart. This time let's shift our weight forward and back. This one's called massaging the feet. And breathe in, breathe out. And this time side to side. Shift it side to side and then in a circle. And then a circle the other way. And we're ready for our cleansing breath. So lift the arms long and deep. Turn away, release, blow it out, and shake it out. Okay, my fitness tip for this week. Empower yourself by keeping strong and learning self-defense moves. Until the next time, this is Lenore Kulek saying, be your best, be fit.